I'm Heather, this is my husband Brady, and we have two girls, Alexa and Chloe. A few months ago, our family packed up what remained of our possessions and we officially left the USA to establish our new home. We closed on this 200-year-old stone house in the foothills of the Italian Alps and are now working as a family to build this stone cabin into our dream home. There is no plumbing, no electricity, no doors or windows, but we could not be more excited for the adventure ahead of us, restoring this historic home as a family.
Daddy's much faster than me.
But what brought us to this point was just as big of an adventure as what lies ahead. In the spirit of the new year, we thought it necessary to reflect on the last year that has led us here. But to begin, we have to back up a little further. Almost 2 years ago, we quit our jobs, sold our house, cars, furniture, and the majority of our possessions in order to travel the world full-time. Our goal was to escape the stress of our previous life, to travel and see the world with our children, and to eventually find a new place to call our home outside of the USA.
It may sound very dreamy, but there is the real reality of you make big sacrifices for it.
While the sacrifice of leaving everything behind was at times too much to bear, looking back, stepping out and choosing to live outside of our comfort zone was the best decision possible for our family.
We travel because we want to learn more about how other people live.
Now that 2022 has come to an end, we have been reflecting on this past year and everything that has led us to this point. After nearly a year of full-time travel, we knew at the start of the year that we wanted 2022 to be the year that we would settle down and find our new home base. So let's head back to January 2022. We began the year road tripping around Costa Rica. We went searching for wildlife, went swimming in waterfalls and hot springs, and we stayed in some of the most unique and inspiring accommodations we have ever experienced throughout our years of traveling.
I'm really excited and also terrified.
Why?
Because we're glamping. That's like camping. With makeup on.
The highlight of the trip was staying in a treehouse high above the canopy, where the only way in was to climb up a rope and then later rappel down. We spent the night watching the macaws in the trees and listening to the monkeys in the distance, all before going to sleep to the sounds of the jungle. Later on, we visited a local village to hike into the jungle and harvest a cacao bean, which we then took through the entire process of making chocolate. But what really made Costa Rica special were the people we met and the way that they loved and cared for the nature around them, doing their part to conserve the beauty of Costa Rica and inspiring the next generation to do the same. Costa Rica left its mark on us, inspiring us to have a newfound respect for nature and a desire to live as sustainably as possible. While we ultimately decided Costa Rica was not the right place for us to live, it left a deep impression on us and we can't wait to go back.
Hi, can I come in?
Next, we headed to Australia. As soon as we arrived, we felt at home and could see ourselves living there. We started our time in the cities of Sydney and Melbourne, hanging out on our most unique train ride yet.
Choo-choo!
But quickly, we moved into exploring the beautiful island of Tasmania. We spent a month traveling around with our friends, living side by side in vans, seeing all of the incredible sights that Tassie has to offer, and enjoying the local cuisine.
It tastes like something like my grandma would make, you know? It's so homey.
This was our first time traveling like this with friends, and it was such a special way for us to experience Australia, even when it was a bit muddy, and I got chased down by a Tasmanian devil. Tasmania has some of the most unique landscapes we have ever seen, and likely the Bay of Fires wins out in our book for the most beautiful beach.
Are you excited to have a beach day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like my beach outfit?
We finished out our time in Australia driving the Great Ocean Road and spotting the cutest koalas in the wild. Although we quickly fell in love with Australia and cannot wait to explore more of this beautiful country, its proximity to the other places that we want to explore made it clear that unfortunately this would not be the right place to establish our home base.
Hi, little dear. Wanna be my friend?
At the top of our list for potential places to live was Bali, so we made our way to Indonesia next. We had visited Bali a few years prior when the girls were younger and loved our time exploring the unique nature and culture. Bali is home to some of the most beautiful waterfalls and beaches in the world, and it is also an extremely affordable place to live. Because Bali has so much to offer at such an affordable price, it has quickly become the expat capital of the world, attracting digital nomads from all over. As a result, life can be a bit chaotic and crazy here with insane traffic, which is not exactly what we were looking for. We also quickly learned that we weren't cut out for the summer heat, which is when we decided to head to colder weather. Leaving Indonesia, our first flight was to Bangkok.
You got it. Come on.
Which is when this day turned into one of the weirdest travel days ever. In order to save money on flights, our connecting flight left out of an airport on the other side of town from where we arrived. So we left the airport, hopped in a cab, and crossed town to our new airport. But we didn't want to spend the remaining hours sitting in the airport waiting for our next flight. So we quickly dropped off some luggage and headed out for some pad thai and mango sticky rice. Thailand is such a special place to us, so we couldn't resist the opportunity to get into the city and head to a night market. Thankfully, we made it back to the airport in time for our next flight to Saudi Arabia, where we took off in our very first sandstorm, heading to our final destination of Munich, Germany. Once we arrived in Germany, we made our way to the most picturesque town of Rothenburg. We felt as if we were stepping into a fairy tale. While we were there, we spent most of our time playing at the playgrounds, eating yummy treats, and just wandering the beautiful streets of this historic city. So we've been walking around the city for a while now, and we keep seeing these balls of goodness. They are called Schneeballen. I'm sure I'm not.
English, it translates to snowball.
Thank you. That's true. We couldn't help but picture how lovely this town would be at Christmas time, and we really hope to make it back next year for the Christmas markets.
Have you changed your mind yet?
Yes. I just looked down.
Don't look down.
From there, we made our way to Mürren, Switzerland, a village that you can only reach by cable car. While staying on the mountain, we found ourselves pushing our boundaries, enjoying a cow parade, and feeling a peace and calm that we had not felt in a very long time. The mountains of Switzerland are truly magical, and we were in awe of the beauty. We spent our time going for walks, riding the cable car to explore different levels of the mountain, and just sitting in stillness, reflecting on where we are and where we want to be. It was here that we knew we wanted to live near the mountains and in a very peaceful and quiet small town. After leaving Switzerland, we drove into northern Italy, and we knew right away that this was the area we wanted to settle.
Well, welcome to beautiful and sunny Lake Como. We have driven down from Switzerland and are staying in the hillside surrounding this beautiful lake.
We have always had a deep love for Italy and spent a month near Lake Como in search of our new home. We almost gave up, as searching for a home to buy in Italy is not the most user-friendly experience. But we stumbled upon a beautiful property in the foothills of the Alps, and we fell in love.
To think that people slowly harvested these stones from the mountain and slowly stacked them up, but then also to see the detail that they've put in. These are stone steps built in to get from one terrace to the next, which is just incredible.
It's amazing. This is so beautiful. Wow. We left Italy knowing that we wanted to buy this property. Things move much slower here in Italy, so we spent some time with friends and family while we waited to hear about our contract.
As of a couple days ago, we are officially under contract.
Yay! Finally, it was official, and soon it was time to head back to Italy to embark on this new journey together as a family. We packed up everything we could fit in our allotted baggage, and while we have left the States many times before, this felt very different. We were closing the chapter of our old lives and starting fresh in a new country with a new culture and a new language to learn and adapt into. Once we arrived in Italy, our first job was to find an apartment to live in, and then the renovations could begin.
This feels so bizarre. Can you open it?
No.
Ah, that's easy. All right. We did it!
Did we make the right decision?
Yeah.
Wow.
The first day we arrived at our new property, we were completely overwhelmed. Not only by the beauty of our new home, but by the mere fact that after all of this time, we finally had a place to call our home once again.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe I just want to hug the house.
We spent the majority of our first days on the property just standing in awe of the view and soaking in our new life. But the girls quickly found a job to do, and we all dove in. We just couldn't wait to get our hands dirty and make this house our home. Over the last few months, we have been slowly making progress on our property. We have been so pleased with how well the girls have adjusted to this new life in Italy and how much they love being a part of the work that we are doing.
I got it, Daddy!
Good job, Chloe. I'm proud of you.
It's so ginormous.
It is amazing to me how quickly they can make toys and games out of the most random things on the property, and we have been truly inspired by their creativity. We really are building this home as a family, and although that can often slow things down a bit, it is so worth every second to create these precious memories that will last us a lifetime. This has been one of the most memorable years yet, and we are so thankful that 2022 has brought us here. We can't wait to see what 2023 has in store for us. We will be spending the next year focusing on transforming this old stone house into our dream home, and who knows what new adventures lie ahead. Thanks so much for your support and for following along on our journey. Happy New Year.